Good morning. It is day 2 at Ringvassøya. I'm still in Fagerfjord. I walked over to these small ruins. There are more by the house there, some behind me. And I don't know which of these might have been the barn Jan Baalsrud slept in, but I think it's it doesn't really matter anyway. I'm here. Today I'm going to continue back to camp in fjord and up this valley. The goal of the day is to get around Fagerfjord and over to Karanes, and maybe even all the way to Fagerfjord. We'll see. Here we are at the start of the hill. Jan Baalsrud climbed somewhere up here to get over this mountain. It's not that tall. I'll be going a bit above 300 meters above the sea. But remember, Mr. Baalsrud climbed this one injured with 2 different shoes, I think, in winter. And there can be a lot of snow in these hills in winter time. With a look back at Fagerfjord, we continue up this hill. Here we have some local wildlife. Tiny little frog. I'm going to let it be. Don't bother the wildlife, and the wildlife doesn't bother me, I think. I'm starting to get closer to the end of the forest. The hill is a little bit less steep from here. Oh, I'm practically on the highest point of today. Just a little bit up. You see the terrain is rocky but fairly easy to walk. Fagerfjord just disappearing. I think I can see Brumnes, where I took the ferry, where Jan was rowed past. Just about there. Ringvassøya just next to it, and Fagerfjord behind. You can see that one. Up ahead we can see some of the mountainous terrain on Ringvassøya. And out there we're going to go today. I think I'm at the high point for today. I have to figure my way down to Fagerfjord. In front of me here you can see a sort of mountain. It's a cliff, and that's why Jan Baalsrud couldn't go around directly from Fagerfjord around the coast to Fagerfjord. There's a grouse on the hill. Should have had a better lens. The terrain down here looks fairly nice at the start. I'll have to figure where I'm going down into the valley and down to the fjord. It can be quite steep some places. Well, my goal was, I think on the map I looked and I thought about going there. It looked less steep, and it is. And then down to the small waters here. But I think I can manage to go zigzagging a bit here and then just find a way down there. It's okay, it's not too bad. If it had been raining, I don't think I would go that route. But today is a dry day. I've got gloves, I can hold on to the rocks without injuring myself, so I'll be fine. I'll go down to the small lakes and then down to the fjord. And from here the passage out along the fjord doesn't look too bad. Yeah, this wasn't bad at all. I wouldn't go this route in winter, at least not without skis. So I hope Mr. Baalsrud went that way. less steep part. Somewhere up there is the path I came down. I wouldn't go up that way if there's an easier way. So where to now? It's fairly steep. Yeah, I have a little waterfall next to me. Probably want to see that one. I'm not quite sure. It looks steep everywhere, so I'll cross down here somewhere, find my way through the trees, and then go on the left side of the lake, straight towards the coastline. As I'm mostly down the hill, I want to show you why going into ferns in a steep terrain isn't really good. You can't really see where you put your legs, and if there's a steeper slope than you imagined, or maybe a log you're going to slide on, you don't know before you have put your foot on and put your weight on it. It's quite difficult terrain to maneuver safely. In dry conditions like today, it's not dangerous if you keep your wits about. But I believe the other slope on the other side of the waterfall is a lot easier to go. I'm down from the mountain on the marsh next to a swan lake. Life's good sometimes. Here we are, Fagerfjord. I still have a little bit to go down along this river and cross it somewhere before we're going out there along this the shoreline it's called. There can't be a lot of people down in this fjord. There are a lot of birds though. Seagulls, ducks, swans are back there. Shell, whatever it is in English. Lots of birds, no people. When crossing this kind of river, it's often way easier to just go down to the just before it runs into the sea, because it spreads out and it's a lot less deep. Whoop. And then I'm wet. Well, almost. My shoes are good. With a fuller belly, more energy aboard, we're about to leave the innermost part of Fagerfjord. The terrain in this innermost stretch is only rocks, big rocks you can go on. It wouldn't help really going up in the woods, because there are equally big rocks there and trees and moss on them. It's easier to go here. This kind of walking isn't really hard, at least not for me. I've been used to this since I was a child. You could say I was born by the seaside and my ankles were molded by it. And I really should shut up before I sprain my ankle in the bottom of a fjord with no cell coverage. With the last look towards where we got down the mountain, you can just take a moment and appreciate that I'm doing this as a nice stroll along the seaside on a warm summer day, while Jan Baalsrud went this way on a cold winter night. Still trudging along out the Fagerfjord. the terrain is back to big rocks. I'll get back to you with other news later. I'm coming up on a bit of a cliff here. Smoother rock. This looks fairly possible, and the tide is low, so I can go around quite easy. If the tide was higher, I'd have to climb above or try to go through the steep parts, but that could be slippery. This could be tricky if the tide was at its highest, but that's not for too long every day. And at the same time I'm just about at the point where Fagerfjord widens a bit out, and we'll start to see closer to the end of the fjord. And maybe where we're going to climb up and over to Karanes. This got so tricky that I'm having to put away my camera to be safe. I got past that one. It was really slippery. I think the tide's coming in, but I'm not sure. The rest of the way here looks like it's full of rocks, so it will be more of the same until I get to, where is it, about there, I think, where I can climb up and over the peninsula. I found another unfortunate being, a reindeer probably. Just past the reindeer I found some other interesting thing. What is this? Could this be the bone or something from the fin of a whale? I have no idea. More huge bony looking things. Yeah, I need help identifying these things. Probably a whale. Died out at sea and parts of it got ashore. Out here I have to make a decision. I could continue for a little bit around the shoreline, where there's more of the same. Cliffs to climb, huge rocks, wet rocks. Or I can try my hand at this steep hill and start crossing the peninsula right now. Now I've decided to try to climb, because I'm a bit tired of this, the coastline walking. Here I know there's only one hill that's steep. I have my gloves. It's not that hard, it's not that far, so I'll do it, and then I'll be on my way over to Karanes. Yeah, I got up this hill, and now I have this in front of me. The rocks look stable, I have moss on top of them, mostly. I'll have to be careful anyway. And that part's done. It wasn't too hard. This part will get a bit tricky. It's vegetated, that means slippery. More slippery perhaps. But the rocks are solid underneath, so it's okay. Whew. I'm not filming while I'm walking on this kind of rubble. Safety first, always. These rocks have come down here probably sometime this year. There are no growth on them. I'm aiming that way. I was climbing with both hands, gripping trees, rocks, moss, whatever I can get my hands on. Heather, it's called. Moss isn't good grips. I'm almost up. I'm 99% certain Baalsrud did not climb this exact way. He probably went a little further along the coast and then headed over a little further out. But it's not winter. I have to do the way that's most meaningful to me, and continuing on the shoreline to climb later wasn't interesting. Farewell to the Fagerfjord. If I'm lucky, I'm done with walking along that kind of seaside. Mr. Baalsrud was not, but where I'm going along the seaside there are no roads. That's where I came from. And now I'm looking forward to get over this hill. And here we have it, Fagerfjord, Northern Norway in the middle, Karanes, outer Karanes here, the house somewhere down here. We'll have to see how it looks down there. The hillside here should be fairly easy to go down, so I'll just find my way and see if I can hit the house. Well, how about this for navigating skills? I am straight above the house on Karanes. So, well, I'll just manage my way down the forest and see you down there. Here we are at Karanes. Jan Baalsrud walked from Fagerfjord, where we started today, to here. He spent much more time than me, I think. I have walked for 5-6 hours. He arrived in the early morning, I think, and he got to stay the whole day and the whole night and the day after. So he got the rest day here. He trusted the people, they were recommended from others, and from here he got directions where to go next. I'm going to continue a bit south towards Fagerfjord. About 2 or 3 kilometers from here there's a road. I hope there's a path to the road, but I fear I have to bushwhack or walk on the rocks again. From Karanes there is a path. It's not the most well-worn these days, but it's doable. Passing this house, I think I'm halfway from Karanes to the road. The path is disappearing. I ended up right on the seaside. It's okay. It's not the worst one I've walked today. Can you see there, just across the bay, it's a road. I'll take a break when I get there. I probably won't film much on the road, but I'm lucky. I'm not I don't have to flee like Jan Baalsrud. Here we are. It's even a paved road. I'm not sure if that's bad or good, but I'll give it a go. See you in Fagerfjord. And here we are at Fagerfjord. I'm dead tired, as I'm sure Mr. Baalsrud was as well. He had walked this harsh and unforgiving seaside all night from Karanes, and in the morning he got here and he knew he could visit one trusted man. I think he was called Arvid Heika or something, maybe in one of these first houses. Anyway, I don't know anyone, so I'm just gonna go a little further today. I'm just gonna go a little ways up into the valley here and find a nice camp spot. And with that quick visit, we're leaving Fagerfjord behind and make our way towards the mountains. With the start of the waterfall next to me in the valley, road up ahead, I'll say good night for now and see you tomorrow. Good morning. It's my third day on the road. I'm getting to Monsevann, just above Fagerfjord, and we can see parts of the route ahead. This part is where Jan Baalsrud headed towards the mountains, and by towards I mean almost straight towards the tallest peak you can see. I think it's Soltind, the tallest peak on the island. We're not going up that one, we're going in that direction and then turning to the left, eastwards and down, and aiming for Bjørnskar today. Yeah, I broke off from the path and headed straight up after the marshes. The terrain is nice, to open forest, so it would be good for me. And here we have a little better view of the terrain ahead. I'm going to follow the ridge here. I think it's called Godsteinaksla, Good Rock Ridge. So maybe I'll find a good rock somewhere. Jan Baalsrud might have passed up here, or he might have passed through the valley and up over there. It's way too forested for me. It's much easier to go up this ridge, even in winter I think. So if he had seen this place, he might have chosen this route. In the modern day, they built a road through that valley. You can't see it right now, where Jan Baalsrud was advised not to pass through. It is the shortest way to Mikkelvik, where he was set ashore on Ringvassøya, but along the way lived a man who probably was a Nazi sympathizer or something, who would have turned him into the police. Yeah, I think you can see them. I got some company. The Northern Norwegian Air Force black flies. They don't bother me really. I have bug repellent and a hat, and yeah, there's not too many of them. Last year I had a trip where I could put my hand like this and hit nothing but flies. Åh, sjukt. Toppen er for så vidt. That's where we came from yesterday, and the lake we passed today. We're going up here. I'm going a little bit more to the left of what I think was Baalsrud's route, and here's the valley he didn't get to pass through. This might be Godstein, the good rock. I don't know. I'm continuing up here on the ridge before turning right somewhere before the peak. I'm continuing on this ridge towards the ridge from the other hill in front of the mountain. Probably where these two ridges meet up, I can go down to Sørdalen. This area is really nice for summertime trips. Little creeks running down the hill, heather covered hills. They're really easy to walk on, especially compared to the beach side I've been doing the last couple of days. Here's a look at the terrain I and Baalsrud have passed through, somewhere over here. Now we're going past those little lakes and down into the valley. I'm going down somewhere here, and I think I'll be passing that lake over there, and somewhere behind those hills with the snow on. The hill down into the valley is just about the same as yesterday. I came down that hill somewhere. This hill was no joke. I could have chosen a better route, I think, but because it was more like rappelling with the trees. Yeah, I almost slipped again. Then walking, so I'm almost on. Here I have to cross the creek from the lakes above and then up a little hill and then find a way over the bigger Sørelva river. I'll just have a quick look and find a place where I think I can walk across. I'll be crossing here. I changed my shoes. I don't want the big ones to get wet because they were pain to walk in all the rest of the day. So I better cross here, get a bit cold and then dry my feet up. Yeah, I have to cross the river 3 times. Woo, not the best idea in the world. After crossing the river, I have about 1 kilometer up to Holmevann. If I follow the path marked on the map, and I found one of the markers, so I think I can follow the path in the grass and see for red marks in the trees and find my way from here. It's much faster than having to navigate by a map or GPS. Here we are at the lake, Holmevannet. The path is a bit more crooked and less used along the lake, but still doable, not hard. And here we are at the far end of Holmevannet. I'm going to continue following the trail. I bet Mr. Baalsrud, he just went straight across if he came across this lake. Because it's possibly in the winter you can walk on water. These creeks are nice. The path is really good. I'm almost walking as fast on the path as I'm on a road, almost. Yeah, it was shallow here. That's good. I'm off the path. You can see the terrain behind me. I am aiming for a little hill right in front of me to spot the map points I want to navigate against. I think Northern is the one behind those trees, but I need to confirm it. Yeah, that little hill was actually part of the ridge coming from Northern over there. It's not a tall peak, it's only 340 something meters. I'm going to go behind it and then aim for the next peak. Oh, and there's a little cabin. As I'm spotting Bjørnskar, the second hill I'm going to pass by, and last one, we pass another little lake just behind Northern. There are a lot of lakes on this island, so if you like fishing and are going here and want to do this trip and maybe enjoy it, take a week and bring your fishing rod. I'm having to circumvent another bog. It looks really wet at parts, but I'm making my way. Otherwise the terrain is fairly easy to walk on. Yet another evidence of springtime in July. We are not any more than 300 meters above the sea, maybe less. There's still snow in the creeks. I just stopped for a break just behind Bjørnskar here and happened to watch the view. It's quite nice. We have Ringvassøya and the rest of Ringvassøya, I think, that way. Maybe Karlsøy, I'm not sure. Bjørnskar, a little lake, and a cairn. Jan Baalsrud came through somewhere through these parts and went down somewhere over there. I'll follow some of his tracks, I think, but if there's a good path like this going down to the road from somewhere here, I'll take that one. Well, I had a break and ate my last piece of chocolate, so I've got to finish this trip today. Jan Baalsrud continued probably somewhere here and made a less steep line down the mountain to Kopparelv. I'll show you where he came down. If you can see this really red tree, now I'm on the path. It goes straight down. Jan Baalsrud would have continued more that way if he passed through here, if he wasn't over this hill or something. I have no exact idea. So I'll go down here. I'll come back to you later when I'm down on the road, and then I'll show you just about where he came down from the mountain, and I'll show you where he met assistance at Bjørnskar. See you down there. I came down a little bit further back because the path was way easier than bushwhacking. I have about 6 or 7 kilometers left on asphalt. Here we are at Kopparelv. One of these houses might have been where Jan Baalsrud came down from the mountain. If he took the even harder and steeper path, he was coming down from there. If he went where I did, he'd have went a slower line down to avoid more houses. From here, Jan went into the seaside and followed that out to Bjørnskar. Well, here I am walking on the road. But what's there? My car. Oh, Jan Baalsrud walked 300 meters more this way. I'll take you there in a minute. I walked that way to confirm before I took the bus out to Mikkelvik and Ringvassøya 3 days ago. But I have to get out of this shirt and these boots. They're killing me. And here we are at last. The house at Bjørnskar, where Einar Sørensen, the telegrapher, lived, and Jan Baalsrud got to here. And from here, Einar Sørensen and his father, at 72 years old, rode Jan Baalsrud from this place over to the island over there, and then to the mainland. They hid behind the island to avoid patrol boats. From the mainland, Jan got help from others and boarded the fishing vessel Blofsen and took him to Lyngen. And that's where you'll see me next, where Jan got off the fishing vessel in Lyngen. Thank you for following me on this trip, and I hope you see you soon.